Civet. Not a very clear track, otherwise I would show you. But the rodent density up there is so incredible that in terms of biomass, in terms of food, meat, internal organs, etc., there's more biomass in the rodent populations in the Bale Mountains than there are in the whole migration. So 1.7 million wildebeest, 200,000 zebra, 200,000 Thompson's gazelle is less meat than the rats in the Bale Mountains. And they got some really giant mats up there. So it's all alpine heath and alpine grassland. It's absolutely stunning. So that's definitely something that's actually quite high up on my list of things to do. Okay, so unfortunately no sign of the little chief crossing back in. So I'm not sure where we're going to go next. Herbie and I are going to have a discussion, a meeting, decide where to go. While we do that, let's go back to Steve, who's bumbling about.
Yes, we are bumbling. We've just found a wider, long-tailed paradise. Just a big loop there to see if we can see where the buffalo have gone. And I believe there's a nice discussion on what animals have we not seen we'd like to see. I have seen a pangolin before, which was super cool, but I would like to see another one. After Brent's discussion yesterday of the black leopard that he saw, both Senzo and myself are kind of in that mindset. Sorry, Senzo, there's the wider just landed here. The mindset with, he's gone again. He's not playing the game for us right now, unfortunately. Sorry about that. He's moved off. But both Senzo and I would like to see a black leopard. I've never seen a striped polecat. That's something I would love to see. Striped polecat. I would also really enjoy going to India and seeing a wild tiger. I think that for me would be quite incredible. And I had a chat with a friend of mine, an Indian student that I had who's actually working in Sri Lanka, and he just got back from somewhere where he saw some snow leopards. That is something I would absolutely kill to see. Brent mentioning the Ethiopian wolf, another animal that is very, very, I think it's the most endangered carnivore on the African continent. That would be something to see. I've watched a couple documentaries on them and they seem to be quite a special little animal. And then I think finally I would like to see a polar bear in the wild. Wouldn't that be something? Polar bear. I wouldn't know what to do with a polar bear. I think I'd be quite terrified. There's something about a polar bear that I do not understand. They are just enormous animals. I've only seen them in a zoo and that just doesn't do it justice, but I'd like to see one in the wild before conditions don't allow that anymore, because as we know, the ice sheets are disappearing. So those buffalo don't seem to have come out at all. We're going to go back up this road. I'm sure we're going to get their tracks at some point. Max, what an interesting discussion. I think this is something we should pose to all the presenters this morning. Max would like to know, if tigers were introduced to Djuma, would it cause chaos? Max, wow, tigers would do some serious stuff here. I don't know what the Unkuhumas would have to say about that, but the leopards, I think, would not know what hit them. Tigers, wow, I think that would be quite something to behold. I honestly don't know a lot about tigers. I've watched some documentaries, but it's not an animal I've spent too much time studying. But they would, I know John Varty has brought tigers into Africa, into South Africa, somewhere in the Free State, and they kill, and they are just phenomenal predators. But naturally in the African wilderness, I'm sure they'll do well. But what chaos they would cause with the other predators out here is something that would be very interesting to study. But I don't know what the Nkuhumas would think about a tiger prancing around in their territory. I reckon they'd have a lot to say about it. But marvelous discussion topic. I'm sure Brent would have something to say about that. Should we ask him next? What do you think about tigers' introduction to Djuma and the chaos? Tigers entering Djuma. What a story that would be. Okay, Brent says he's got tracks of Hukumuri. Whereabouts is he next? I don't know what block they're working in at the moment. Okay. Okay, so Brent and Herbie are somewhere over there with tracks of Hukumuri, asking me to keep my eyes peeled. I am indeed. I will let you know if we see anything. But these buffalo seem to have just vanished. Maybe they are bedded down within the block. They have not gone to drink any water. But we will see. We had their tracks from when last we saw you. Then they came across that central... Let me do it again. So where we first saw them, we showed you just over here. Sorry, let me put it there. Just over here were the tracks. And then we came around this block of quarantine and their tracks were directly there, the dung. And sort of the beeline is there to Treehouse. But we haven't seen them come across. We are over here now having a look. So it's possible that they have given us a bit of a skip. We're going to do another little loop here and see maybe where they might have crossed and then... But it seems to me that they're headed straight towards Treehouse Dam. So we'll have another little look here and then straight on down there. I have no doubt we will find them. Buffalo in Djuma are always quite nice, and Brent and Herbie might want to keep their eyes peeled because buffalo on foot are always quite special. I do enjoy it. Lots of elephant activity though, and tracks. Catbrag wants to know about a polecat. Striped polecat, I think it is a weasel. It looks very much like a skunk. It's black with the white down the back. But I don't know. It's not a weasel. It looks similar to a weasel. Maybe I should just show you a picture. Let's quickly just switch off there. Polecat, otherwise known as a zorilla. Polecat 44. Here we go. There's the striped polecat on the top. Very funny looking thing. I have no idea actually too much about it. I've never seen one in my life. I haven't spent too much time studying them. It's an animal that you don't see very often. Herbie assures me that we get them here. He actually pulled me up to a tree one day and said, "Can you smell that?" And I couldn't quite put my finger on the smell. And apparently that was the smell of a striped polecat. It was a sort of a sweet sort of aroma. But I wouldn't probably be able to identify it again. I probably wouldn't, but it's giving off that... Okay, thank you, Lou. Isn't it marvelous? We've got the FC on their fingers and their computers, and they have told us that the striped polecat is in the weasel family. So that answers your question. They do have quite a noxious smell, apparently. That black and white is to indicate to predators, don't eat me, I taste very bad. Apparently. Should we go that way, Sense? No, we're not going to go that way. I don't even think that's a road. Look like a road, probably an old sighting. Okay, so we've done a big loop, and there's no buffalo coming out, which means they've given us a little bit of a skip. But don't worry. We'll go back down this way. Oh, why don't we just frame that beautiful bird? Before we link across, let's frame... Oh, he doesn't want to be framed. There was a beautiful lilac-breasted roller. It was just sitting there. But he doesn't want to be on the camera this morning. So we're going to go over to Taylor, who is driving, and we will catch up with you shortly.
Finally, the gremlins have left us alone this morning. Gremlins, I mean, the technical difficulties with the signal sometimes on some of the dodgy roads. Hyena Road seems to be one of them. So we haven't really found anything since our owl. It was a very productive road. I tried to find a hyena that was whooping in the distance, but I had no luck there either. Now, I don't even know what road I'm on anymore. Maybe Drak? No, I don't know. Oh no, I'm on Central. I do know where I am. For a moment I couldn't remember where I was, but I do now. We're actually going to come up on Drakensberg. Tundi loves it around here, so that's of course what we're looking for. Now, as we drive about, we're going to see some people, so I'm just actually going to just pull off the road and we're going to answer the question, and then we'll let them go past. Maureen, you were wondering if people live on the reserve for 24/7. Yes, they do. I'm one of them. Craig is also one of them, and the girls in Final Control are them too, and it's quite cool, in fact. all the anti-poaching teams, anyone that works on the reserves, typically we consider the lodge or the lodge that you work at your home. So there's always someone here. The lodges never close, and if they do, it's not for a particular either. So here we go. Okay, those people that went past, we let them go past. Now we can carry on with our safari. I have seen lots and lots of elephant tracks, so that's promising. Perhaps we're going to bump into them. I wouldn't mind spending the rest of the morning with a big herd of elephants. Actually, I wouldn't mind spending the rest of the morning with a cheeky young elephant. I think that could be quite cool. I heard Daryl was back too. I don't know where he was though. I think Brent had him. Now, this is a tricky one. And it's a question from Ashlyn, and said, if I could spend all my time with one animal, which animal would it be? Ashlyn, I think I'm going to have to choose the elephants. Again, like it's normally my answer to most of the questions, is elephants. So just because they're so entertaining, watching all the pretty much the entire herd interact with one another is quite special too. Watching them feed is always quite fascinating. Dig for water, drinking water, swimming in the water, all of those things. I feel like you don't need too much of an explanation for that one. But they're just always on the go. They're always doing something. I mean, every now and then you'll find yourself seeing elephants standing still, not even swishing their tails around anymore, under the shade of a marula tree. There it is. There's the hyena. Yay! Come back! They can chase you around the whole property. You get back here, you filthy hyena. It is literally filthy. It's covered in mud at the moment. There it goes, running down the road. Look back here, please, so we can see who you are. If I get too close, it's going to get stinky. So I'm pretty sure this is the same hyena that was whooping in the distance. Hot on it. Oh, no. I thought something broke for a second. False alarm. It didn't. Let's go see where the hyena's going. Maybe it will lead us somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't go off the road, though. And with all the thick vegetation around, I would assume it's just going to carry on down this lovely clear road. There's no point for it. We're going to stop and watch it again. There you go. We'll just keep doing this. We'll give it some room and as to not push it off of the road. And sometimes, if you do get a bit close, the animals will just move right on off. We've got a huge gap between this hyena. Where are you off to? Just marching along. Not going anywhere too quickly. Oh, there we go. Stop briefly to pause and have a look at us. Carol, you said that the elephants have fast become your favorite animal since starting watching Safari Live. They are. They often do that to people. I mean, a lot of people are scared of elephants, which you should be. You should have a healthy respect for them. But once you understand their behavior and you can read the different signs, they're not too intimidating. But of course, you must be very, very careful of them. Right, hyena's going around the corner, so we need to head on forward. No, stalling. Now, Wisteria, you said you think that hyena's got a full belly. I think it does as well. I don't know when it or what it was feeding on. Maybe it hunted for itself. Perhaps it scavenged off of a carcass. I haven't got a clue. It does look full. So we'll just, we're going to go up a little bit further now because the road keeps bending here. So there's no point in us stopping right now. It will disappear. It's now broken into a trot. Off it goes. We are coming up to the boundary, however, to Torchwood. We won't be able to follow it. Maybe it's on its way to the lions, to the Hukumuri Pride. Okay, I'll stop up here again. There we go. Now, Yvette, you said you thought that the hyenas actually travel in packs. I suppose, sort of. They are very social creatures. We typically wouldn't refer to it as a pack of hyena. We'd actually say a clan. That's a normal way that we use it. But again, collective nouns, you're allowed to actually say whatever you like. If the hyena goes off the road, let's try and see if we can follow it or watch it. might come back on again. So when they're at the den sites, they're fairly social, and they'll all come together, but it's actually not uncommon to see just one hyena on its own like this. But of course, if they are going out for a hunt, you will see them in groups. This one's obviously been off on its mission. It's hard to tell from this angle whether it's a male or a female. I mean, I haven't been able to see too much of it, and the females are bigger than the boys, so if it is it looks quite staunch. Maybe it's a female. Like I said, hard to tell from this angle. But it also wouldn't surprise me if it was a male being on its own. They typically spend a lot more time by themselves. The girls rule the roost. Okay, we might get one last view of it here because it is crossing into Torchwood. There we go. I'm kicking up a bit of dust. And this is the last view now we're going to have of this hyena. It is crossing straight into Torchwood. Maybe those lions have made a kill and maybe they've moved off of their kill. Maybe that's where it's going. Perhaps there were other hyena that were calling in the distance that we just weren't able to hear. Because remember, their hearing, eyesight, sense of smell is way better than ours. And off it goes. I'm so glad we managed to find that hyena. I didn't think we were, to be honest. I thought that that was going to be the end of it. I think thought I was just going to hear it and then, be gone. But thank you, hyena. That was awesome. Very, very nice. Short but sweet sighting. I know how you all appreciate having a view of the hyenas on Djuma. We don't get to spend much time with them often, I'm afraid. We're still trying to figure out where they are denning. Now, Belinda, you're wondering if the hyena bite force is stronger than a lion. You are correct. It is indeed. Hyenas have got exceptionally strong bite force, and that's the reasons why they're able to feed on different parts of a carcass or an animal than, say, lions are. Lions are able to crunch through certain amounts of bones, and same thing with leopards. But their teeth aren't really designed for it. And that's where the hyenas come in and make use of their strong and very powerful jaws and crush through the bones and get all that bone marrow, which is very tasty and full of all sorts of nutrients. So yeah, we actually had a cool sighting with Tamba not so long ago when he killed a fully grown kudu cow. And unfortunately that was rather large for him to hoist in a tree, but she was also pregnant. So he pulled the fetus out as the hyenas had come in. His kill, and he was able to take a little bit of it up into the tree. And hearing them tear through, all flesh and then crunching those bones is a pretty cool sound. I quite like listening to animals feed. You don't necessarily need to see it. Close your eyes and you can just hear. Okay, so I need to hop back onto. Maybe we'll go down Mamba, have a look around there. He was also on a bumble.
Okay, so we have found the tracks of the buffalo. They've come from all the way across from Sorry, I'm just having a little word with Brent on the radio there. Apologies, folks. Sorry, Brent, can you just go again with that update, please? Brent's talking to me about something. If you just hold on for a moment. Okay. He's found a kill, folks. Okay. That looks like a buffalo bottom. We found the buffalo. Copy, Brent. We'll move into the area there. Thanks very much. Brent seems to have found a kill, folks, on where he is at the moment. So we're going to bypass these buffalo quickly. They're having technical difficulties on their bushwalk, maybe because of where they are exactly. But we're going to move into that area and we're going to have a look. But we found the buffalo for you. I'm just going to let everybody know. The station is located on a breeding herd of buffalo around on Twin Dams, south of Chelapan, slowly mobile towards Twin Dams itself. Okay, we're going to have a quick look at these buffalo. Do you want to get that one there, Sense? Okay, we're going to have a quick look and then we're going to go and find Brent and the kill that he's got, because it's possible Hukumuri is in the area there. Wouldn't that be marvelous to see? Oh, there we go. There's a pretty lad. Which one do you want, Sense? The guy who's smashing the bushes? Look at him, eh? He is a big boy, and he's showing the bush what he thinks of it. I'm really surprised that Brent and Herbie managed to miss these tracks. Maybe these buffalo have been moving as we've been talking, because I think he was a little bit further behind us on Chelapan early this morning. That's what I heard, the first update. So it's possible that these buffalo have crossed the path after Herbie and Brent. Oh, shame. There's a female buffalo over there that's just disappeared into the bush that is limping quite heavily. I won't really be able to see her. I just saw her make her way across the road. To the left there, Senzi. She's very difficult to see, but she's not a happy chappy. She's gone now, though. Not that female, but she's disappeared into the bushes. She will be easily overwhelmed by the Unkuhumas if they find her. These animals, lions, will always select the easiest meal. And I think this lady thinks we owe her some money. Look at that. The typical stare that a buffalo gives you. And I don't know if you can hear it, folks. I'm just going to hold the speaker for a moment. Listen to the oxpeckers coming from the thickets there. Very important to understand the call of that. Someone's calling me on the radio. Just hang on a second. Standing by. I'm making our way from Twin Dams Road. Okay, COVID. Okay, so folks, Herbie's calling me in. We're going to go and see what kill this is, and then maybe find whatever leopard it might be. We will come back later to find some buffalo, but let's go and help the bushwalk team to relocate on whoever that might be. They've found a kill. I don't know what it might be. Let's try and get past these buffalo without any incident. This Dugger boy meaning very muddy, and aren't you a beautiful chap? Enormous animal. He's probably about 1,000 kilograms or so of just muscle. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, Senzi. Dugger is the local word for mud. And you could see how covered he was in mud. And there was a little branch there that he was thrashing. That as we went past, I'm sorry we didn't focus on it, but it was covered in mud from where he'd been probably rubbing his underside. Because as we know, the buffalo are covered in ticks. Those of us who've been enjoying not having any ticks, the buffalo are coming in more and more. And I'm pretty sure within the next few weeks, we are going to be scratching. Yvette, what was Yvette wondering? Sorry, about the ticks, Nix? Yes, Yvette, so the buffalo are a huge carrier of ticks out here, hence the following they have of oxpeckers. The oxpeckers are feeding on ticks. They can feed on about 500 large ticks a day, 1,500 nymphs every single day. And so now as the buffalo moving in, there's going to be more ticks in the area. We saw the Shadulu female, how many ticks were on her. Hopefully Brent doesn't have any ticks on him, but we're going to go find the kill. Let's go over to Taylor and see what updates she has for you.
Well, I've actually just seen Steve drive past on Twin Dams Road. We're on Mamba, and I've just picked up on Mamba fresh big male leopard tracks. And they look like they've got fairly long toes. And I know Scott said that he thinks that when Hukumuri walks on the sand, you can kind of see his really nice long toes. And I think that may have been him. I'm trying to see if I can find another really nice track. So I'm going to move out of this. Steve Wolf is coming in. Brent, and hopefully they get a left for you. Nice. sorry, gremlins. I got told to keep quiet while the gremlins were attacking me. Apparently that works. If you stop talking, it's like they just don't know where you are anymore. I don't know. Okay, we're going to go through here. Our signal shell.
So sorry about that, folks. You've lost Taylor, some gremlins, or maybe she's still got her leprechauns from yesterday. We are slowly making our way towards the pan just off of Shabamu Road, which I'll show you shortly on the map for those of you who are not aware of it. But that is the area where I've had Tingana scent marking when I first came in January, and then had Hukumuri moving in on the exact same road, scent marking. And that is where Herbie and Brent are. They found a kill. I have no idea what it is. Some elephants in the distance there. But sorry, Ellies, we will come back to you. Let's go and see if we can find what it is that has made this kill. It's much easier with a vehicle, as you know. Leopards don't respond as well to us on foot as they do in the vehicle. So whoever it is in the area there, we're guessing it's Hukumuri. I have no idea. I can't say that for sure. Maybe it's Hosana. Ooh. Ryan, you'd like to know whose roar is louder, lion or leopard? Most definitely a lion. Lion goes much further. They've got a huge bass in the chest. Oh, it is a morning of animals. What can we do? There is warthog and elephant. Elephant are drinking. We are really trying to get somewhere. Folks, we are really trying to get somewhere, but the animals are just showing themselves this morning, and it is a marvelous view of this very small breeding herd. Absolutely sensational morning. But we're going to see if we can just creep past these ellies without disturbing them. I do love elephant, but Brent does need our help. So we can always come back. We have a bit of a roadblock though. Uh-oh. There she comes, the little one. High-speed elephant movement. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry, Ellies. Mama's on the right-hand side is quite relaxed. The youngsters don't like me very much, it seems. But it's okay. You're not causing them any distress. Hello, Mama. You've got some beautiful children here. Yes, you do. Okay, I think I'm going to try and sneak through before she comes. Hang on, here we go. We're being charged from the left. Here comes the biggest of the herd. Be careful. Look at the tail. Classic elephant aggression happening right here, folks. Have a look at that. When an elephant does that with its tail, a youngster, you don't need to be too worried. But when an adult does that, they're not very relaxed. Can you see how stiff and erect that tail is? It's classic elephant behavior. Okay, well, folks, we're going to try get past this elephant roadblock on this Sunday. I don't think they're in any hurry to let us through, but I believe Taylor has managed to come from the other side, and she has found the buffalo that we left just a moment ago.
We have found the buffalo, and we're watching this bull. He's been very entertaining. I think he's got an itch somewhere. Look at him. He keeps rubbing over the branches. And he's trying to wedge those smaller branches sort of in between his horns. So maybe there's some ticks bothering him. I know what they sometimes do is they find themselves a tamboti tree, and they'll do something like this in the bark. Look at him, go. Often that toxin gets on the horns and will act as like an insect repellent. See that? Trying to get underneath it, but sort of between his ear and the horns. I bet that must be so itchy. Now, Fern, you've asked me, how do I get the little ticks out of my hair? I hope I don't have little ticks in my hair. I try wash my hair as often as possible to avoid that. However, the animals out here, they rely on the oxpeckers to do that for them. That's a type of bird that hops around. We might actually see some oxpeckers. I can hear them just chatting away on some of the other buffalo in the bushes. They're slowly coming out, so we might actually get to see one. And then they try and dislodge them, like what we're witnessing now. You see that? Look how perfect that branch is, getting underneath there. And ticks, of course, like warm spots. So that would be a perfect area. And I bet there are lots and lots of ticks. Quite a clever buffalo, in fact, by doing this. Then also rolling in mud, which that buffalo has done too, will often suffocate the ticks. And they'll die that way. So they've got lots and lots of different ways to try and combat the parasites. But they do heavily rely on the oxpeckers. You've just seen this boy. He completely stripped the tree. I wonder if this fella's going to do the same thing now. Much smaller buffalo. And can you see that? Look at all that bark that's torn off of that tree that the buffalo is now eating. That was created from the first bull. He did that. He almost broke that entire tree. So not only is it the elephants pushing the trees down, it's the buffalo too. Look at that. Eating the cambium layer. So that's the layer of nutrient, the layer where nutrients are transported from the leaves to the roots. But we'll sit here with this herd of buffalo and watch all the cool things unfold. Brent has found that carcass.
Well, this is a piece of a carcass. There's actually been a monumental battle here because there's a bit of a, looks to be an Inyala's liver. So if we come across here, the leopard dragged the Inyala underneath this little bush here, and you can have a look. You can see he probably had it tucked in right there. You can see where there's some stomach content. And then hyenas have arrived and stolen the carcass. Now, it is very, very fresh. I mean, you can see there's not even rigor in the tail. And it looks like a little Inyala tail. I'd say it's very early this morning, so even if I put my hands in the blood over there, that's how fresh it is. The blood hasn't even dried. Dave, come here, Dave. Okay, now, we're pretty sure he spotted us and he moved off. He's not as relaxed as some of the other leopards on foot. So I'm just going to try show you what little bit of the carcass he did manage to stash. We can't see how much of it is. Steve's about to arrive now. So let's just go this way. He managed to put some of it just out of hyena's grasp. I'm not sure. We heard some birds alarming just behind. So he's not so comfortable with people on foot. So we're not going to spend too much time here. Steve's on his way. And I've actually got a present for Steve. Dave, you just keep filming that leg there. Maybe you'll spot him. He could be even lying right underneath it. Lara is wondering, is it safe to touch the blood of an animal? It is, Lara. It is safe. I'm touching it now. Now, Steve's a vegetarian, but we're going to offer this to Steve for breakfast. I think Steve might have spotted the leopard. Oh, there's more meat. Oh, it seems like he's stashed the meat in different places. So there's more meat up there. So he had a big fight with the hyenas from the tracks. But let's go see Steve. Hi, Steve. Are you having a good morning? Ah, some more meat. It looks like a big, I think it's either Inyala or Kudu. But they had a big fight with the hyenas. And we've got something for you for breakfast. Because we know you're such a meat lover. You like some liver?
Come on, Brent, I think you eat that.
Oh no, I'm not that silly. There's been hyenas on it. But if I was actually having to survive out here in the bush, this would actually be a really good find. I would cook it thoroughly first, but I could definitely eat this. And if I was surviving, I'd also steal the meat from the leopard. But fortunately, Amanda cooks for us. Maybe we should take this back to camp and see if Amanda will cook it for Steve. Senzo, do you want some liver?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Steve and I are going to try and figure out where this leopard's gone. Steve's going to go check there. I'm going to move out of the area as Hukumuri's not the most relaxed male on foot. Hopefully while Steve's driving around, he'll have a bit of better luck. Dove, do you want it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to send you across to Taylor in the meantime.
We are watching some very cool behavior with these buffalo at the moment. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you eat any buffalo liver. But, so we've obviously been talking about how animals rid themselves of parasites. But I've only ever seen it a few times where they'll actually rub up against a tree and open up the bark and try and get that all over their horns, around their ears and on their neck, as if they're sort of dipping themselves with well, I suppose, a dip that gets rid of fleas and ticks and mites and all sorts of things. Quite cool to see, because every single buffalo that came past went to that tree. And you can see how they've completely torn it up now. Look at that. Amazing. I'm not sure what tree it is. It might be a wisteria tree. In fact, I'm just having a look at the leaves, but I'm also not sure. Oh, and Louise in Final Control said she's never seen the buffalo actually eating the bark. Well, I suppose there's many different medicinal properties, and the animals know what's right from wrong. A lot of people don't actually realize that 5% of a buffalo's diet is actually browsing. So even though there are bulk grazers, they can, and when they need to, they will eat leaves. They particularly are fond of the round-leaf teak. Can you see some more, Craig? They've gone into the thicket. A bit hard. You've got a little bit. Just sort of see the trees moving around. So they might eat a little bit of bark every now and then. Off they go, hidden just behind a little small shrub of sorts. Very cool though. Thanks, buffalo. That was quite nice. Yeah, they've all disappeared. I reckon they're probably going to at some point head towards Twin Dams. Maybe they'll have a wallow around there, nice out in the open. Have a little swim. That was so cool to see. I've seen that for a very, very long time. Right. But I bet you're all getting sick of hearing the sound of my voice and you'd much rather see a leopard. So, let's go to Steve.
Yes, look what we found. We've just moved into underneath the marula tree, and look at what Brent and Herbie have managed to get us into. Whatever it is that was killed, it seems to have been a kudu, but the look he's giving, that is the look he's giving Brent and the bushwalk team to basically say, "Oi, don't you come near my meat, boys." He's not too bothered with me knowing I'm a vegetarian, but he knows Brent will eat anything to survive. And it does look like Hukumuri. Nix, am I right in saying that? He's got those really, really sort of... he's got that scar on the face, and he's got those eyes. I know this cat. I didn't know him very well a moment ago because he was lying very flat, just with his ears above and his eyes looking straight at the bushwalk team that were only about 40 yards or so from him. But he's not far from the kill in the tree, and it's possible that he lost bits and pieces to the hyena, and the noises we heard earlier were probably from those hyena and Hukumuri interacting. But no hyena on the scene. Very hard to say what actually happened. But marvelous. Good morning, sir. Thank you for showing yourself to us on this morning. We're still watching as the bushwalk team departs the scene. Absolutely fantastic. So you can see, folks, how important it is for us to have radio communication. The bushwalk team was able to find the crime scene. Senzo spotted the meat in the tree here because he is a meat eater. He sees meat from a mile away. And there we go. We just go in and underneath the tree, and there is a beautiful male leopard. Sherry, yes, Brent does smell like liver now. And I wonder, and I'll get back to you all later, whether he does take that piece of liver back for breakfast. It would not surprise me in the least. He said he's eaten a terrapin before, which I think is unbelievable. Ray, who is currently viewing us, he's in FC with Nix. He wants to know if the panting increases his sense of smell. Ray, the scent of smell of leopards is phenomenal, but the panting is to help him cool down, as well as because he's got probably a full belly of meat. It's pushing up against his diaphragm, and so that's causing him to pant a little bit more. I'm going to just move up, see if we can get him before he disappears. Just bear with me. I don't know where he's going to. He's moving away from the kill. Maybe he's going to go find himself a better piece of shade. He is not seemingly following the bushwalk team, kind of walking in a similar direction. Maybe he wants his liver back, Brent. Maybe he wants to come and challenge you for what you have stolen. He's going straight towards an African weeping wattle, which we know out here is the beautiful shade of the African wilderness. And we have had many a leopard and a lion enjoying the shade of these African weeping wattles, because, there he is. Let me just get around him. We go again with that, Nick. Something about big cats. There he is. Ash wants to know if big cats cough up fur balls, hair balls like house cats. Well, yes, they do. They groom themselves, so they lick themselves with the fur. They get a lot of their fur in their throat or in their stomach, and they can't digest that. But also, when they feed, they get quite a lot of fur in their feeding, and lions and leopards will cough up fur balls every now and again, and they'll chew some grass beforehand, which will allow them to sort of vomit. And in lion vomit, you'll find fur, you'll find hooves, you'll find bones, because there's absolutely no, pacing themselves when lions feed. They just eat and devour absolutely everything. A leopard has a little bit more time and will pluck a lot of the fur out of the animals that they feed on, but that still doesn't mean they get all the fur out. So yes, they will cough up fur balls from time to time because they're not able to digest it. So folks, we're going to stay with him. I'm just going to call in on the radio for anybody else who'd like to see Hukumuri. If you just stand by with me. Stations, we've relocated on Hukumuri, on Shibamu, just off on the western side from the pan. One station unlock. I've no doubt there will be some interest. Kobe Diosya, he's got a kill in the marula, visible from the pan, just on the western side. He's now moved off a little bit. He's probably about 100 meters from the road, lying up. We'll leave a branch in the road for anybody who's interested when I leave. Yeah, that's affirmative at the split of the road, coming into Boetelo itself from the two pans at the split road just north of that on the western side. Okay, so we're going to reposition and we're going to go over to Taylor for an update.
We had a warthog. Let's see if he's going to stay. There he is. He was out in the road. He was being quite nice. He's munching away on grass. Grasses at the moment, I presume, pretty much what the guinea fowl were feeding on this morning, the grass seeds, because he was holding his head quite high up. Off he goes. Older boy. Oh, no, he doesn't want to be seen anymore. It was quite nice, though, to see a warthog. One that didn't have its tail in the air and racing away from me, because that's normally the view that you see. Again, a short and sweet sighting. That's good. All these mud wallows along Ingwe Alley seem to be drying up. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get much rain at all. A pity. It did rain quite a bit between here and Hoedspruit. Lots of puddles on the road. But it just missed us. So, animals better get in quick. There's lots of algae also forming in the water. We need some fresh stuff. and get rid of it all to top them all up. Okay, well, I'm still looking for my elephants. Haven't found them yet this morning, so might go pop past Vuyatela Dam to see if there are any around. I'm going to send you back across to Steve, though, who's just finding all the cats today.
Again, and his belly is looking rather full of what we think is kudu. So now next, if you want to tell Taylor that we had some elephant there at Treehouse Dam and on the road to Treehouse Dam from Twin Dams, she might be able to find some ellies there if she's interested. We were racing here to try and assist, and we were successful in finding this beautiful male leopard who is definitely making Djuma his home. Super excited to find him again because I haven't seen him in about a week. What are you up to, boy? I'm sure Herbie and Brent have moved off. I hope so, anyway. What is Hukumuri up to? Maybe the hyena are still around? Definitely interested in whatever. Mario would like to know if anyone's seen Hukumuri up a tree. I have not myself, personally. Senz, have you seen him up a tree? Senzo hasn't. I haven't seen him up a tree, Mario, myself. Senzo hasn't. I wonder if Taylor or one of the other presenters, Nix is trying to think back. She's actually doing a very nice Safari Life story on Hukumuri, and none of the footage has him in a tree. But, I mean, that kudu kill is in a tree, so he definitely was in there. We just haven't seen him in there. He's quite a ground-dwelling cat, it seems. But he is beautiful. Where are you going, boy? Look at him, eh? So much more powerful than the female we were with before. You just look at the shoulders and the neck. He's a leopard in his prime. And I've no doubt hyenas will give him away. Marvelous. It's just so marvelous we're able to watch these cats do what they do in the wild. For those of you who are new to the show, please bear in mind these leopards are absolutely wild. There's nothing tame about them. They've just become very used to and habituated to the vehicles, which allows us to see and to spend time with them like this. But if I had to get out of the vehicle and walk towards them, there would be a very different response. Patrick, you would like to know if a lone hyena would try face down Hukumuri. Really, what I've experienced in the past is that you get sort of leopards that have a rapport with hyena, and big male leopards generally are left alone by a single hyena. If there's a group of them, they might chase him up the tree, but quite often the reputation of the leopard will precede itself, and the hyena will know who it is, and it'll be like, hang on, why is he being so confident? And they'll often just sit there and have a stare-off without having to come any closer. Well, as he moves around the bush, let's move around. So I think personally that Hukumuri would stand off an individual hyena. We go back, eh, Senz? Okay, Senzo reckons we go back this way. We might get another view of him coming around. Oh, Jamie has seen him up a tree on the dam cam a while ago, chased by hyenas. Oh, sorry, spider. Little spider web there, apologies. Where has he gone to? There we go, he's walking away. Let's see if we can get around here. Lisa wants to know how old Hukumuri is. We don't really know. We're estimating he's between the ages of 5 and 7. He comes from further south in the Sabi sands, apparently, but then a lot more information has come to light that he's actually been spotted at Crocodile Bridge in the Kruger National Park. He's been spotted in Ngala, which is in sort of the Timavati area, and that was 3. Oh, there's a hyena right here. There's a hyena right here on my right-hand side, and he's got a little something in his mouth. It's just coming around. There we go. Hello, Cheeky. Hello, Cheeky. I wonder if Hukumuri is going to come and discipline this hyena. The hyena is not too fussed, but he's walking in the complete opposite direction to Hukumuri, who seemed to be sort of fanning around in this direction. Let's see if we can catch him. I don't want him to disappear. Oh, sorry, Senzi. Sorry about that. Okay, keep your eyes peeled. He's just in here somewhere. No doubt he was giving that hyena an evil eye. Yeah, let's have a little look in there, Senzi. This is what we have to work with, folks. I mean, a leopard who wants to disappear will disappear. I mean, think about that. If you were walking here, we know he's there. We know he's somewhere here. If you were walking here, you would have no idea that he's there. I mean, Brent and Herbie and them hadn't seen him. If it wasn't for us driving in with the vehicle, he wouldn't have seen him. Okay, so let's go to Brent, who's walking back to camp while we try and find this cat.
Wow, what a wonderful first bush walk back. Some flowers, a spider I've never seen before, and of course a new leopard on foot. So I got to see him on foot as we were walking away there. So it was really, really nice. He was down like this, just staring at us. I think he was actually staring at Davy, who smells a bit funky this morning. But a lot of you are probably wondering, why has Brent still got the kudu's tail? Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a fly fisherman. And you don't get opportunities to get good quality, as it's called in the fly fishing world, bucktail like this. And so I can create some flies from this kudu tail. And I think I'm going to actually have to name a creation. I'm going to make a new type of fly today. And I'm going to have to call it a kudu or Hukumuri. Actually, that's a brilliant name for a fly. I'm going to make a Hukumuri. So I'm going to make a Hukumuri today. And I'll bring it on drive on this afternoon so you can have a look what I created out of what Hukumuri left behind. So we've got some nice white, some good black, and some nice sort of black and tan. This will be very good for clouser minnows, those of you who are saltwater fly fishermen. This will be excellent for clouser minnows. So what I'm going to have to do now is when I get back, is when I get a sharp knife, and I'm going to cut down the center here, so you can see there's still there. So I'll cut down the center there and then remove what's left of the tail. So there's still bone and stuff in here and gristle. So what I'll do is I'll cut that, remove that, raid Amanda's kitchen for some rock salt, salt it, dry it, but I'm going to make a fly as out of this today so I can bring it on drive. Okay, so while I consider what creation the Hukumuri is going to be, and that is the fly, not the leopard, let's go see how Madam McCurdy's morning is faring.
Well, it's been up, it's been down, but it's back up again, Brent. Good luck with all your fishing things. So I've never seen Craig cry before until this morning. And I had to pass him some tissues, give him a pat on the back and comfort him. And the reason why he's so sad this morning is because he only arrived back at work at the end of marula season. He's absolutely devastated. So there's a marula tree. And sadly, there aren't many that are still dropping fruit. There's one or two, so we'll have to see this afternoon if we can find a couple. I also haven't had many. And I just think it's just been an amazing morning, just with the way that the weather has changed. Obviously, we started our drive off. It was very gloomy and cloudy and grey. But now look how it's turned out, a beautiful blue sky. It's lovely. Now, Swapna, you're wondering if myself or the rest of the crew ever prank each other. Yes, we love it. We do it often, in fact. Brent scares me all the time. He normally manages to catch me out that way. I've got a prank that I want to play on James at some point, but I'm not going to say it now because I've told some of you already and you're not allowed to tell him that. And he also might be sitting in the Mara watching me. So we'll keep that a secret. But James, just you wait till we're in the same location again. So yeah, we do. I like to tell big stories. So I try to catch people out. You can imagine, spin the most ridiculous stories ever and then see if people will believe me. I love meeting new people because then they don't know me and they don't know to take me seriously. So they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I read about that. Just made it up. So I do that to people. We played the game all the time. I don't know what this game is called, but you all know what I'm talking about, where you have to catch someone else. You do that, and if they look at it, I think you can do that. I don't know the point of the game, but that happens all the time in camp. Hi, Impala. This is what I'm thinking. Nikki's going, does this game have a name? And I was like, I have no idea, but it's the game. Everybody knows it. Everybody plays it all over the world. And so we do that often. And a lovely herd of Impala here. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else we do. I don't know. We've done a couple of things. We definitely do a couple of things. They've just, I've forgotten them. But we do. We tease each other like brother and sister all the time in camp, so you never quite know what to expect. But one last view of the Impala, of course, until the sunset safari, where I'm sure we'll see some more. So from myself and Craig, it was great to have you, but I'm going to send you across to Stivovo to end the show.
Folks, we've managed to find him again. Sorry, I'm just moving. We've got a vehicle coming in to join us. I'm just trying to direct him in so that he can see it. And they can get a view of him. He's just underneath the African weeping wattle here. He's keeping a very close eye on whatever those hyenas were doing. He's kind of done a big circle coming back towards where Brent had that scene of the crime. And he's an absolutely marvelous specimen, Hukumuri. See how flat he is when he lifts his head above that branch. He's almost invisible. Almost invisible. He's trying to keep himself very well concealed in the shade. Okay, so we got the other vehicle in here. Marvelous. We managed to move a little bit forward, so they're also able to see it. Fantastic. I mean, it's just off the road, folks. You'd be driving. It's probably like 15 meters off the road. We followed him back across the road. You would not see this leopard if you did not know he was there. So we wonder how many times driving around we just miss leopards. And that's why it is so important to be able to track, to be able to discern the difference between a fresh track and an old track. And so what would happen this afternoon, because when I drove across the road here and Brent was walking away, he's now come across the road and actually stepped on the tracks that we had. So that would have indicated very, very freshness and would have been made us able to find him later this afternoon. Janine wants to know, is there any part of the animal the leopard can't eat? Well, Janine, they struggle with the really heavy bones. Hyenas are able to break the very heavy bones, but they also don't feed on too much of the hide. They might feed on the softer bits of the skin. But they, as we saw this morning with the deka, they really enjoy the cheeks, the internal organs, and they won't feed on the stomach content. They might squeeze the stuff out of the intestines and feed on that, but they'll leave the very strong, heavy bones, maybe even the hooves. But if it's a small animal like a baby impala or a baby waterbuck, leopards could actually eat the entire thing, skin, bones, everything. So it really just depends on the age and the strength of the animal and the sort of the calcifications of those bones. So what an amazing morning we have had. Thank you, Brent and Herbie and Dave, for finding the scene of the crime in Hukumuri. We went from the Ingrid Dam, or the Shadulu female, and what a marvelous morning we had of her feeding. Buffalo, elephant, been marvelous out here. The sun is coming up. We've had a cool morning. It's going to be a wonderful afternoon. We're going to come back later today, see if we can find Hukumuri. Thank you for all of those joining us on safari. We'll see you again this afternoon. From FC and all the team, thank you and have a beautiful afternoon.